What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio. I'll be your host and producer, Logan Landers. And join me here this afternoon to talk about three keys to victory for the Texas Longhorns as they take on the Georgia Bulldogs, a highly contested matchup this upcoming Saturday. Our resident Longhorn fan and key analyst here, Jay McMinn from the Elite Sports Entertainment Network, is going to give you guys three keys to how, Quinn Ewers and the rest of the Texas Longhorns, how they can take down the Dogs this upcoming Saturday. Jay, what are your keys to victory, my friend? And then first off, how are you doing?
Yeah, man, life's good, man. It's finally getting colder down here in Texas, Logan.
Yeah, same here. It's probably about 40 degrees this morning. It's getting chilly.
Oh, yeah. I think it was like 50 here, so we're not that much further from you guys. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, literally, I think we're definitely gearing up for the biggest game of the season. Yep. I know a lot of people are going to say that Ohio and Ohio versus
Oregon, I believe.
Oregon was a big one. And then a lot of people are going to tell you that the Alabama and Georgia was the big one. But, Bubba, ain't nothing bigger than this one.
Nope.
I don't give a damn what anybody tells you, because I'm going to tell you right now, Bama is got to defeat. Georgia's got to defeat. So this game right here is, in my mind, it's the epitome of solidifying Texas as the number one powerhouse. They probably should get the national title. They are a 76% favorite to beat Georgia. The thing I think for them is what Texas has to do for Georgia is they got to contain ETN like Bama did. I think that Bama game, and they gave ETN 12 carries, 55 yards. He did get a touchdown, but for all intents and purposes, they really kept ETN under control, which really made Carson Beck more one-dimensional. Matter of fact, having the pressure on Carson Beck, was really big, because he did get a lot of yards off. I don't want to minimize that. I mean, the guy went 27 of 50, 439 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. If you count the fumble, that was 4 turnovers that Bama was able to get Georgia to commit. So the key here is, number one, stop ETN. You got to stop him. Number two, you got to put pressure on Carson Beck and force him into bad turnovers. If Texas also will need to establish the run early, like Weisner did against I forget who he did it again. It was where he put up 45 carries for 278 yards and 2 touchdowns. No, that's what he's averaging. Well, what is that? I'm going to read my own dang handwriting, Logan. No, he averaged, or he's got 228 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging 6.2 yards a carry. So Weisner, in combination with Blue, that combination of running power, if they can get that established early, it's going to put a lot of pressure back onto Georgia. Again, get pressure onto Carson Beck. That would be the key thing as well. And then stopping the run, right? So that's really it, right? Stop the run, establish a run, get pressure on Carson Beck often and early, and then let Ewers just be the game manager that he is.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, Jay, I feel like this one might have college football playoff implications come the end of the year.
Yeah.
This might have SEC championship game written all over it again if all is said and done.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of the beauty, right, about the new teams in the SEC and whatnot, and also the 12-team addition to the playoffs at the end of the year is we'll get more games probably this caliber. And I'm excited for it, man. This is, like you said, this is probably the biggest game of the season. There have been some other great ones, no doubt, but I would say, since the game hasn't been played yet, obviously, just the hype around it. Once this game was on the schedule, everyone circled it. If you were a Texas fan, if you were a Georgia fan, if you're just a college football fan, you were looking forward to this upcoming Saturday as you watch Georgia take on Texas at a nice 7:30 kickoff at night. It's going to be a fun game. And also, Jay, let's not forget, you got the home crowd behind you too.
Right.
Which I think is going to be huge. You've got the home crowd. They're going to be hyped to see Georgia, right? There's a big powerhouse. We know the national championships they've won, just the dominance they've had in the last handful of years. They've got Texas, who they have really looked sharp this year. Obviously, number 1 team in the nation, and an undefeated 6-0 record to boot. Not too shabby at all. And also, let's not forget, too, the fact that your starting quarterback was hurt for a time period, replaced by a backup, and remained undefeated. So that just speaks to a little bit of their recruiting, obviously, with Arch Manning. But for Texas, like you said, they have to have a balanced approach against Georgia, because if you go one-dimensional, it's not going to look good. This is an experienced team. They know what to pick up on. And like you said, if you can get a good combination, right, of Quinn Ewers and your running back duos in Weisner and Blue, who on the season, Jay, just the tandem or the running back room, they've averaged 5.1 yards a carry, which is tremendous. 6.2 for Weisner, 4.4 for Blue, and then also Jarrett Gibson with 4.7. Altogether, those guys have combined for 9 touchdowns. Texas as a team, I think people are kind of forgetting, they have 16 rushing touchdowns on the year. It's just you're enthralled by all the quarterback play. So, I mean, this is a really solid team.
One thing too, Logan, I'll tell you, the biggest thing was, like I was telling you earlier, Texas had 6 sacks against OU.
Yeah.
6. If they can put that kind of pressure on Carson Beck, and then, like you said, establishing the run and the balanced attack, I mean, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, we've seen Carson, like I said, he had the picks the other week and fumble or 2. So if you can create pressure, he has shown that it's kind of not solidified, but it's also not, a lock that if you get pressure on him, it's bound to be a turnover, but it is damn sure going to increase it. I know that much. So it'll be interesting though, man, how this goes. But I think Texas, a lot of people, Jay, I know Texas is off to a great start, but a lot of people still are picking Georgia to go in this one. I think a little bit higher. But I also think, like I said, this has to do with, this is a big game for Coach Sark. Yeah. This is a big game here. So let's see if he can get it, man. And it's going to be fun to watch on Saturday. Also, guys, stay tuned, because right after this, we have a video about how Georgia can defeat Texas. Is going to be a fun game, or it's going to be a fun video on that one. And like I said, Jay, I appreciate you, my friend, coming on the show, talking about how your Texas Longhorns can beat the Georgia Bulldogs. It's going to be a great matchup this upcoming Saturday. Like I said, stay tuned, and you can learn how Georgia is going to beat Texas. So we'll talk to you guys again in an upcoming episode. See you soon.